So when we talk about introducing design to a customer during a sales interaction, it's not something that's going to happen all at one go. Best practice recommends a minimum of 3 times mentioning or introducing the design service to your customer. What you're about to see are 3 different points during a sales interaction where you can bring up design very subtly or directly to be able to introduce the concept to your customer and get them used to the idea of having a designer in their home. So Jim, what do you think of this one?
I love the look of this. I'm just a little worried about the color of the leather.
Well, keep in mind this comes in plenty of different materials, both leather and fabric. If you're not sure about color, we do offer a complimentary design service. Our designer can help you select the right tone for your room.
Okay, well that's something to think about. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first opportunity during the interaction where I had a chance to introduce the concept of design was when we were talking about the color of the leather. That's a great opportunity to mention custom order, obviously, but it's also a great opportunity to introduce the designer in coordination with our special order program. So Jennifer, this is the same style as that sofa we just tried, but this is the sectional version. I know you had mentioned you weren't sure what you wanted for layout in that room.
This definitely gives me more seating. I'm just wondering if it will fit in my spot.
Well, keep in mind we have that free design service, and that's something the designer can help with as well, is sizing to make sure it scales well for the space.
What all does that entail?
Well, we want to narrow down your selections first before we have him or her come out.
Okay.
So we would just continue with where we're at today, and then we can set up that appointment later on.
I don't want her just to come out to measure. I can do that myself.
Nope, it's a full consultation.
Okay.
They'll be able to help. And if you need other pieces as well, we can help with that too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll think about that.
Okay. So the second opportunity that we had to introduce design to our customer was when we were sitting on the sectional discussing sizing. Sectionals right now are very popular, and usually your customer will have a question about whether the size will fit their space or not. That's a wonderful opportunity to mention one of the other services the design program offers is a fit measure. Now, this customer was concerned they don't want just measurements, they can measure themselves, and so it does give you opportunity to explain and offer some add-ons and plant that seed for tables and rugs in the rest of the space. So Jennifer, this is the leather that was on that sofa. I know you mentioned you really like the feel of that leather, but you weren't sure about the color. These are all the other colorways that same texture comes in. And I know you had mentioned you were looking at maybe a brown or gray, and so you really have free reign here with that texture. Is there one that jumps out to you more?
I really love the brown. I just don't know if it would go with the rest of the house. I feel like this might go better with what I have in there currently.
Well, like I mentioned, we have that design service. She can bring all of this out so you can see it all in your space and give you a professional opinion on what would look best in your room, keeping in mind any changes that you may be making.
Is she here now?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go grab it so you can meet her, and then we can set that appointment up.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think I want to go ahead and meet her and see if she can come out and maybe help me with this decision.
Sounds great.
Okay.
So the third opportunity that we had during that sales interaction to bring up design was when we were looking at materials. I knew already from the first example that the customer did not necessarily love the color as shown and was wanting something different. So we used that to introduce some options for the customer. It's also a great opportunity if there's hesitancy or questions to bring up design again, remind them that we offer that design service. And if your designer's in the building, it's a wonderful opportunity then to introduce them to that customer and confirm that appointment to book it on the calendar. So during your sales interaction, there are some trigger questions that your customer may ask you when they're looking for more information. Once you start hearing those trigger questions, that's your go sign to be able to really explain the design service in full spectrum. Some of those trigger questions may be, how long does that take? How much does that cost? How does that all work? Is it just a measurement service? You'll hear lots of different varieties of those trigger questions. They're all a sign that your customer is interested and needs more information. our best practice to explain the design service is something along these lines. We do our design service in 3 steps. Your first step is here in the store with me. You've already accomplished that. We're doing that right now. This is where we're going to narrow down from our great variety of products what you're interested in and what color families you like. The second step is when we have our designer come out to your home. They will bring the materials out so you can confirm color, pattern, and texture. We'll get measurements and be able to look at some of the additional pieces that you need for this space. Your third step is back here in the store with us, where you'll see a full presentation of what your dream room can look like. During that process, we'll confirm everything, make any changes needed, and get your order placed that day. That's a very quick way to just summarize the program to your customer, increase their understanding of what will happen and what their next steps are.